Are you curious about how much you can save in property taxes if you lived outside Sault Ste. Marie? Well, in this video, we're going to cover the difference between in the property taxes from the Sault compared to the outside regions, such as Laird, St. Joseph Island, Gooley, Sault, and so much more. So stay tuned. I hope you don't want to miss out. Hi, I'm Ben Warnock, Realtor at EXIT Realty True North. If you're thinking about moving to Sault Ste. Marie, I help people just like you every week with questions about buying, selling, and selling into the Sault Ste. Marie market. So if you have any questions, I'll be glad to help. Just give me a call or text at 705-255-4227. So first, let's cover the difference between Sault Ste. Marie and other cities in Ontario. The difference is quite a bit for the property tax rate. You're going to see Southern Ontario being lower taxes. Well, this is because there is a lot more people. Sault Ste. Marie does have a higher tax rate for property taxes at 1.79%. If you look at the screen, you're going to see the annual taxes on a $300,000 assessment value on your home. This is what you're going to expect to pay each year. So in Sault Ste. Marie, you're spending around $5,370 each year on your property taxes. If you lived in Southern Ontario, like Markham, Vaughan, Toronto, you're only going to be spending around $2,100 in property taxes. Quite a big difference when you're looking at it, but this is what you expect when you do live in Northern Ontario with less people. Everyone has a larger share in property taxes because there are less people. Comparing Sault Ste. Marie to the surrounding towns and townships, if you look at the top of the table, those are the unorganized townships. The tax rates are quite low at 0.57% to 0.66%. So you are going to be saving a lot of money on annual taxes when you do live in unorganized townships compared to organized. And even in the organized townships, like Prince, St. Joseph Island, Tarbut, Deborah, and so forth, you're looking at the lower 1% in property taxes compared to the higher end one we have, such as Sault Ste. Marie, Thessalon, and Bruce Mines, we're almost close to 2%. There are two Sault Ste. Marie options on the table, rural and urban. So rural are outside or on the outskirts of the city. Like my house, I'm on the outskirts. I don't have water that city provides me. I have my own well and septic. My tax rate is lower because of that, compared to when you live within the city, when you have running water and sewer water that the city does supply. If we look at the annual taxes on a $300,000 assessment, in the unorganized townships, we're looking at less than $2,000 a year, and compared to the cities you're looking at around $5,000 a year or higher, right? If Bruce Mines is the highest, you're looking at almost $6,000 a year on the same assessment value. Well, what does this mean over a 25-year mortgage? In this column, we take a look at how much you're going to be spending on your property each year or over the 25 years. So in unorganized, we're looking at between $40,000 to $50,000. And as you go higher and higher, looking at Sault Ste. Marie, Thessalon, Bruce Mines, you are between $130,000 to $145,000. So over 25 years, this is how much you can save. If you live just outside the Sault in Batchewana or Hayden or Sault, you're going to be saving almost $90,000 in property taxes over 25 years. That's quite a bit of money to be saved. And this is something to consider if you are moving here or want to sell your home within the city. If you want to live outside, you do save a lot of money, but you miss out on some amenities when you live within the city. What this just illustrates is the same thing we just discussed, that if you do decide to live in an unorganized township, you are going to pay less money in property taxes. You are going to get less amenities, but all these townships do have firefighting, right? You do have plowing, you do have other stuff like this, but you wouldn't have, say, garbage pickup, recycling pickup, and stuff like this. So as soon as you go outside the city limits, there are some small parts in Hayden that do have, they group together for garbage pickup, but if you aren't a part of that, or you live outside of that region, then you have to bring your garbage to the dump within that region as well. So something to consider if you feel like you don't want to do that kind of stuff. This is why I live in the city. This is why you pay more, because you are getting more in property taxes. Just taking a look at this graph here, we see just the linear increase of property taxes over how much your assessment value is. So quite a big difference in the higher end portion between, say, for $1 million home assessment value, which is very expensive, compared to when you're looking at the lower end between $50,000 to $200,000. The property taxes are very similar to the unorganized versus organized. Jumping ship to utilities. So there are some differences when we're looking at heating sources and electricity sources when you do live between organized and unorganized. Within the city, you're going to have natural gas to your home or electricity. So a lot of homes, most homes do have natural gas, but some just have electricity based. That can either be electricity with the heat pumps or baseboard heaters. So when we're looking at the annual fuel consumptions, natural gas for a smaller medium home, this is from my home, a little bit over 1,600 cubic meters of natural gas used, and it cost me around $1,000 a year in fuel. Propane, if you do live outside, this is one option. So for a medium-sized home, it's around 2,000 liters a year. You're going to be using around $1,800. Heat pumps, 5,800 kilowatt hours on average, and it's going to cost you between $800 to $1,000 depending on peak hours, right? There's for the actual electricity costs. Wood stove, I have a wood stove as well. It helps heat part of the home. I love the wood stove. It's a very nice heating source. If you do live outside the city, this could be your #1 heat source, and then you have electrical baseboards as backup, or heat pump, or something like this. Wood is quite cheap up here compared to other parts of Ontario. It's around $100 a cord, compared to where I've seen other parts in Southern Ontario, it's like $300 a cord. That adds up quite a bit. So 10 cords a year is roughly average. Some do more, some do less, depending on the size of your home. And it's around so it'll be around $1,000 a year in actual cost for heating. If you live within the city, you're going to have PUC as your electricity provider, and outside you're going to have Algoma Power. The distribution rates for low, medium, and high peak hours are roughly the same. This is the average of all three, of 12 cents for PUC and 13 cents for Algoma Power. The biggest difference is the service charge. So for PUC, this is from my bill within the city. It's around $36 for their monthly service charge. And Algoma Power, this is from my parents' camp, just 20 minutes outside the city, and it's around $110. The service charge is the biggest difference, and that will vary on where you actually are outside the city. So it could be more, it could be less, it just depends. Between the two, I live on the northern part of the city, right, compared to my parents' camp. It's around an $80 difference when we're looking at an 800 kilowatt average a month a bill. So something to consider as well, you are going to spend more money on heating, and you can spend more money on heating within the year, as well as electricity costs will be a bit more when you live outside just because of the service charge. I hope this helps give you some insight on where you want to live within the city or outside. You will save a ton of money on property taxes when you live on unorganized versus organized, and between the smaller towns of Sault Ste. Marie, right, Echo Bay, and stuff like this. If you have any questions, post in the comments, or send me a text or call me at 705-255-4227, and I'd be glad to help you out.